Takuma Sakamoto, a reclusive gamer, is transported into the world of his favorite game, Cross Reverie. With the appearance and powers of his own character in the game, the demon lord Diablo, where the Panthurian Rem Galu and the elf Shira Greenwood fall into an enchantment that binds them to him as his slaves. The three arrive in Faltra City and meet Celestine Baudelaire, the head of the Mage Association. Because the slave collars around Rem and Shira's necks cannot be removed or destroyed, Celestine promises to find out how. Diablo, suspecting Rem of concealing information, forces her to confess in private. She says that the demon lord Krebskulm has been sealed inside her body since she was born. Celestine is the only one who knows, and they've been devising a method to extract and kill Krebskulm without killing her. Diablo promises to assist her with her problem. Later, while Diablo is out walking, the enraged mage Galak attacks him with a giant, fire-breathing salamander, only to be surprised when Diablo easily slays it. He proclaims himself to be Diablo, the demon lord from another world. Diablo, Rem, and Shira join the Adventurers Guild, but the power measuring device malfunctions when they try to measure Diablo's level. Sylvie, the guildmaster, is intrigued and sends them on a quest to kill a Madara snake in the man-eating woods. They are ambushed by a squad of elves who reveal that Shira is the princess of Greenwood and wishes for her to return home. Having been told that Diablo has enslaved her, Shira refuses to return because her brother has been putting pressure on her to marry him and bear his child. The elves launch an attack on Diablo, who easily defeats them. Galak, who told the elves where to find them and wants vengeance on Diablo, emerges from hiding and berates the elves for their failure, then retreats after Rem reprimands him. Shira instructs the elves to return and inform her brother that she will not be returning home. Diablo and Shira are tasked with bringing refreshments to the guards at the Bridge of Ulug. Emil by Chelberger, who believes Shira and Rem are willing slaves, attacks Diablo and is quickly defeated. The girls then explain the situation to him, and he flees. While Diablo and Shira are delivering the package, the guards report that a massive army of Fallen is approaching. Diablo volunteers to defend the bridge because he realizes the guards will perish if they are not assisted. Back in town, Celestine informs Rem that she fired Galak for his actions, and then expresses her suspicions that Diablo is a Fallen. Galak storms in, yelling angrily that he hasn't been fired. He stabs himself in the back with a cursed dagger, causing his body to be possessed and transform into the Fallen Gregor. Diablo defeats the Fallen one by one, and their commander, Edelgard, appears and challenges him to a duel. Gregor pursues Celestine and Rem, intending to assassinate Celestine in order to destroy the protective barrier she erected around the city. Emil and a group of adventurers defend them when they are cornered. Edelgard is unable to inflict significant damage on Diablo. When a messenger explains the situation to Gregor, Diablo unleashes a massive spell called White Nova, which destroys the Fallen army and most of the land. But to Diablo's surprise, Edelgard is only left naked and mostly unharmed, and she recognizes him as a demon lord. Diablo teleports himself and Shira back in time to prevent Emil's death. Diablo, enraged by all the people Gregor has hurt and killed, humiliates him with his magic until he begs for mercy, then kills him. Shira tries to seduce an exhausted Diablo after the funerals for those killed in Gregor's attack, only to be attacked by a jealous Rem. Sylvie delivers a message demanding that Shira be returned to Greenwood within 10 days, or there will be war. Diablo is enraged when he learns that Shira's brother has placed a bounty on her head. The group meets with Chester Ray Galford, Lord of the City, who asks them to do everything they can to avoid a war because Shira refuses to return to Greenwood. Chester assigns an Imperial Knight, Alicia Christella, to assist them. Diablo buys a scythe in order to fight weaker opponents without the use of magic. Shira is kidnapped by bounty hunters, but she is saved by the group and Emil. Alicia chastises herself for not protecting Shira more effectively. but Diablo tells her not to be so harsh on herself. Celestine directs the group to Medios, a slave trader who was once Celestine's colleague in magic studies, for information on how to remove Rem and Shira's collars. When they meet Medios, she detects Krebskulm's presence within Rem, but Shira misunderstands her and believes she is saying Rem is pregnant. Medios explains that a master can remove a collar by channeling their magical energy into the body of their slave. Diablo tries it on Shira, but gives up in embarrassment despite the fact that the process is extremely pleasurable for her. Later, Shira's brother, Kira, arrives and apologizes for the bounty hunters before attempting to convince Shira to return with him. He leaves after she reiterates that she will not return, promising that she will return with him of her own free will. Diablo recalls his childhood, when many of his so-called friends would take advantage of him and then abandon him. When he is alone with Shira, he discovers that he can easily craft potions. Outside, Kira plays the flute, hypnotizing Shira into accompanying her brother. Diablo mopes about being abandoned yet again, but Rem and Alicia eventually deduce that Shira was hypnotized, and the group plans a rescue. Kira imprisons Shira in his tent and interrogates her about her relationship with Diablo, refusing to believe her when she claims Diablo never touched her. Kira summons a fabric-eating slime creature to destroy her clothes and prepares to rape her, but the group arrives just in time. Having defeated his guards, Kira uses the flute to hypnotize Shira once more, convincing her to lie about wanting to stay with her brother. But Diablo uses his authority as the master of her collar to force her to tell the truth, and she says she wants to stay with Diablo and Rem. Kira, enraged, summons a monster known as the Force Hydra. Despite its regeneration, Diablo defeats the Force Hydra by completely incinerating it. Shira begs him to spare Kira because he is still her brother, and he agrees. However, Chester appears and beheads Kira. Chester's army gathers the already battered elf troops and attempts to capture Shira, announcing his plans to conquer Greenwood. When Alicia tries to defend Shira, Chester traps Diablo in an energy sphere and destroys her sword. Diablo breaks free and battles Chester, who is evenly matched and narrowly wins. When Alicia threatens to inform the king about Chester's unethical behavior, he surrenders and withdraws his troops. The group uses potions to heal the elf troops and consoles Shira over the loss of her brother. Later, Sylvie serves an exhausted Diablo a drink meant to re-energize him, but he becomes drunk and misidentifies her as a body pillow. He grabs her and caresses her, much to her chagrin. While Alicia is waiting for her audience with the king, she meets Sadler, an arrogant paladin on his way to Faltra City to investigate Diablo. Shira summons a turkey shot and ties it to her with a collar. Diablo shows her how to use the turkey shot's ability to share what it sees with its owner to improve her arrow aim. While Shira and Rem are bathing in a river, Edelgard appears, stating that she is not here to fight but to confirm Rem's possession of Krebskulm. They explain Rem's situation to Shira, who promises to assist her. Edelgard explains how a 3-day ritual at Starfall Tower can remove Krebskulm without harming Rem, then departs after they agree. Alicia returns 3 days later and warns them about Sadler. Despite their efforts to avoid him, he and his followers track them down. Sadler condemns Diablo's companions for their association with a demon lord and injures Rem with magic. He then attempts to turn Diablo to stone, but Diablo reflects the spell and Sadler becomes stone. The party travels to Starfall Tower. Edelgard explains that Diablo must channel his magical energy into Rem via her vagina in order to free Krebskulm. Despite his embarrassment, he does it, and the result is a towering, hideous demon that transforms into a cute little girl. Krebskulm suffers from amnesia, and when Shira feeds her biscuits, she becomes enamored with the taste and decides not to wipe out the mortals. Alicia objects, but Edelgard, who is loyal to Krebskulm, accepts it. The fallen Ulrex appears and attacks her after being dissatisfied with Krebskulm's weaker form and refusal to kill. but Edelgard and Diablo drive him away. Edelgard departs as they approach Faltra's city because Fallen are not welcome. To avoid a panic, they change Krebscombe's name to Clem. Diablo is embarrassed when Shira and Clem strip and rub against him in order to donate magical energy. In private, Alicia recalls how she was abused by her parents and superiors and wishes Krebscombe would exterminate all mortal races. Meanwhile, Sadler reverts to flesh and vows vengeance. Celestine learns about Clem from the group, and she is relieved that the Demon Lord is not evil. Alicia betrays Rem and Clem to Sadler while separated from Shira and Diablo, and they are arrested. Alicia's plan is to traumatize Clem until she remembers who she is. Sadler leads them to a church where he plans to torture Rem until she admits to worshiping a demon lord. Diablo and Shira are on the lookout for them, while a massive army of Fallen marches toward Faltra's city. Clem tries to shield Rem, but when Sadler strikes her, Rem shields herself with her body and is impaled several times. Clem snaps, reverts to her demon form, murders Sadler, and blows up the church. Diablo and Shira arrive as she rampages. Alicia joins the Fallen army, and she, Edelgard, and Ulrich rejoice over the return of the true Krebscombe. While Shira is tending to Rem's injuries with potions, Diablo battles Krebscombe and severely injures her, but is unable to bring her down. After Emil saves the girls from falling debris, Rem reveals that she is fine, causing Krebscombe to revert to the little girl Clem. The army of Fallen attacks Alicia for her failure, but Edelgard repels them and tells her to flee. Sylvie tries to kill Clem for the devastation she caused, but she backs down when Diablo casts the spell that binds Clem to him as a slave and causes a collar to appear around her neck, as a slave cannot disobey their master. Later, Alicia appears and reveals that she sneaked Edelgard into the city, heavily injured from fighting the other Fallen, and begs Clem to heal her, which she does. Clem instructs Edelgard never to kill mortals again. Rem questions Alicia about why she did what she did, and she reveals her past suffering and desire to annihilate the mortal races. Alicia attempts suicide because Clem will not kill her, but Diablo stops her and tells her to find a new reason to live, after which Rem forgives her. Diablo collapses in exhaustion and is humiliated when all 5 girls strip and rub against him in order to donate magical energy. Edelgard disguises herself as a human the next day and mingles with the people. Alicia embarks on a new adventure. Shira and Rem request that Diablo pick one of them and kiss her, but he refuses because he is a demon lord and only does what he wants. Like and subscribe.